Hey guys, so we're gonna do a spirit talk. Now I know I've said I'm gonna do weekly tarot readings. I may do a weekly tarot reading, but I feel like I need to do this as a spirit talk because this is an important topic. It is something that's interesting that also came up in my feed on Facebook. It is something that I'm very focused on and concerned about. It definitely, when I'm observing the collective and things. But let's talk a little bit about conspiracy theory type stuff. This is a big thing with me, especially when it's come to running a group. Especially my group is a pretty good size, and it's a spiritual group. Several things I can say that. One, I have over the last several years, I have worked very hard to keep out any kind of issues when it comes to conspiracy theories. Because I know that if they start weeding in to, say, my group, say if it did, little bits of stuff, that they could corrupt everything. Okay, that is one thing. So there are times that I've had to remove people who said tried to start certain things and drama. I call them the bad blueberries. In other words, say you have a box of blueberries, nice, fresh, right? One rotten blueberry gets in there among the many fresh blueberries, and the entire box will become rotten. Okay, so it's real important when you run kind of any kind of community, spiritual group, whatever. One rotten blueberry can ruin everything. Okay, so I'm very well aware of that. But there was something that popped up in my feed, and one of the things I've done, I've worked with a teacher for many years. I've talked to you guys about that. I've explained that and everything. But one of the things about that, something came up in my feed which was interesting. It was one of my friends who is also spiritual, kind of warrior, kind of energy. He had done a post, and it was he likes to post his memories of different little things he said. And this was actually from, it would be September 24, 2016. So this is way back. And this is also right around when Trump was coming in office, right? And some of these conspiracy theories were just barely kind of happening. But also, at the same time, what something that was happening also in our little spirit tribe, with my teach, we did have one of the people that was in our group. It is very small, but was posting various conspiracy theory type of stuff. And one of the things I said was, and that I commented to my friend on Facebook, was that he has never, my teach has never banned anything in the group. We were always free to say or express ourselves in any way. We could talk about whatever we want, whatever's going on in the day. We would talk about news, things we were observing, because we did all that. We would talk about our interpersonal work, healing journey, whatever. We would do our various things that we would do, but we would talk about things that were going on in the collective. Absolutely, that was another thing. And that's kind of why I do it too. But when this person started bringing some various conspiracy theory type of stuff, this was especially on 9/11. And I know there are those out there that have certain theories on 9/11. Please don't bring it in the comments if you got a theory. I don't want to hear it. Okay, that's because that's not the reason for this discussion. But the thing was that as they were bringing it was, even though they're a good person, there was some bad blueberry stuff with this. This was the one time that he put a halt on it and said, "This is not allowed. I don't want any of this here." And this is way before, okay, all the Q stuff and all the various things that we've kind of seen going on in the collective, and all the talk about conspiracy stuff, whether it's Freemasons or various things, okay, all the various stuff that has been going on, because it can be a poison. But let me go ahead and read. I'm gonna actually pop this up. I think you can still see me if I pop this up on my Goog. So I want to go ahead and read something. This is something that I went in there and I kind of posted in that section. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. just a little bit of what I said. But this is the post that was kind of shared again from my friend that's on my Facebook, and he said, "Behind every conspiracy theory, there's a conspiracy theory about the conspiracy theory. It's the onion again. How deep down it goes, and should you go there? Some revel in it, and it stimulates them to no end. Maybe it's just the stimulation they seek in a world of mirror reflections that reflect unsatisfactory stimulation elsewhere." And that was basically the post that I responded to, and that's what he said. Okay. So why do people, one of the things I want to kind of say here, just, and this might not even be a very long spiritual talk, but I do want to say this. One thing, we do want to be awake and aware, especially as spiritualists, things that are going on in the collective. It is important to be able to do that. But as we're on 3D Earth. Earth is school, and it's incredibly dense. And there are certain lower astral elements that just keep, like, say here's my 3D Earth, and it just keeps creeping up. That lower astral, which is dragging people down. It's important. It's a struggle to keep the head above water, and to vibrate high. We need to vibrate high, and everything. And it's incredibly important, for everything that is going on. And these various conspiracy theories, and there are so many of them. I could go on and list so many. Like, for instance, when the Queen passed, that it invoked various conspiracy theories, right? These, there are those that are trying to manipulate. So a few things here. You are nothing without this while you're trying to navigate this world. You don't want to lose this. Okay, it is so important. You've got to keep that above water. You've got to. So say you see, hope there's a rabbit hole. Don't even bother. Don't even bother going down it. It's not going to lead you anywhere good. Okay, I just, and people start Googling and start researching and all this and everything. And I could sit there and Google and substantiate any conspiracy theory I want. I could definitely find people that will support whatever wacky kind of thing I want if I look hard enough. Okay, or I could go to the opposite and do that as well. Okay, but people, if you if you lose this and you lose your discernment, you're lost. You're 100% lost, and this is a big problem that is going on in the collective. But I will say there are those, absolutely, let's say it this way, there are those that would love to get a hold of your mind. Absolutely, I will say that. And I know it almost sounds a little CT when I say that, a little conspiracy. But there are those, absolutely, that want to manipulate you, that want to influence you and all that stuff, get you to see things the way they see it. I'm not going to say that's not wrong. But especially, it is so important. You've got to keep your head above water. You've got to keep your head above water and not allow yourself to be manipulated. Some of my very good spiritual friends that and unfortunately I've lost some over time. When I look back, I've lost quite a few over time. And definitely one of the things we were trying to do as we navigate the world, the physical world, and the world of spirit, is not allow ourselves to get sucked into the drama. And but anyway, and there are those that I know, that they know, shut off the news. We want to be aware of what's going on, sure, but we also have to know when to shut it off and get our sanity, because if we never shut it off, right, if we don't unplug, we won't get our sanity. But when we unplug and shut off and just kind of sit here in the silence, like right now in my apartment, everything is quiet. I just got a little light meditation music playing, and everything is very, very peaceful. And one of the things I always try to remind myself, and I know this sounds a little wacky, it's all a dream anyway. It's all a fucking dream. All of this is really, I'm dreaming awake at this point. A lot of this is a dream and stuff. And so just kind of always remember that, no matter what, those old wise spiritualists that came before us, in many ways, just like Poe said, Edgar Allan Poe, all that we see is a dreamer within a dream. A lot of this we're dreaming. Okay, so just kind of as wacky and confusing as that can be, I know it's true. I know it's true. A lot of this is dream. Okay, so and one of the things is we want to wake up within the dream, and then we want to navigate the physical world and the world of spirit and stuff. But it's very easy. There are those that want to control your mind, suck your mind, and various things, and don't get caught up. Don't you see that rabbit hole calling you? Don't go down that rabbit hole, guys. Don't even bother. Don't even bother with it. And stuff, because it's going to lead. It's one thing, another, and that's why so many people have lost their minds, and they're so confused, and they're so mixed up, and they completely lost the plot at this point. It's all a dream anyway. It's all a dream. Just even what I did, if anybody does watch my read, I did the Kardashians. And I don't want to spoil it, because if anybody wants to watch it, I go through, quite a bit of the read and break it down. But I will just go ahead, once I get to the very end of it, it's all an illusion. That was the end. That was the end thing. Spirit's like, it's all an illusion. The whole thing. And if you watch the read, you'll understand why. Why I'm saying that. It's all fantasy. The whole thing. The whole story about, the Kardashians, the tape, and all this stuff, and certain things in the news. Everything is an illusion. Okay. I know many spiritualists, tried to struggle with things that what is real. That's what we're trying to do, get to, what is reality and certain things. And that is a big thing. There's a lot going on with, what's going with Iran, with the death of the young lady, Mahia Reed. And there is some young people who, they've been cut off on internet, but somehow some have got put on and they've told their stories. There are some TikToks, and I posted some of them on my page on Facebook. What's going on, and they're trying to cut them off from the world, so you don't see what's really happening over there. Just various things. And there's ways that people try to manipulate, so people aren't aware of what's happening and stuff, and people's struggle, for independence and for freedom. We here in the U.S., I know certain people can have a perception of who we are and what we're about, and maybe from their perception it is very kind of clouded and jaded. But those that live here know, a little bit about what's going on, a little bit. But we're also being manipulated in various ways, like the conflict, trying to keep everybody at odds and in conflict is a constant thing that is going on. Keep this whole Republican Democrat kind of crap. So we're just constantly fighting with each other. With what is happening, it's the manipulation that is going on. It is incredibly frustrating. Women have lost rights over time. There's so much that is happening. And so no matter what, I know sometimes people are trying to figure out, why is this going on? What is happening? What is all this leading to? Everybody's kind of concerned where certain things are leading, and there are those that kind of have, they're looking at even prophecy, biblical prophecy and spiritual prophecies and various things. Oh, all these things seem to be lining up, right? Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Because, that's more, even prophecy can control your mind. Okay, no matter what. That all, if you're locked in, even certain doom prophecies are very lower astral vibe stuff. They make you kind of lose hope, and then everything is doomed to go a negative way. Okay, and I know, and no matter what, the light wins, and I've always told you guys, the light wins no matter what. But there are those that just because there's a prophecy doesn't mean it has to happen. We have always, as this is a free will universe, always had the ability to sidestep any negative prophecies. We have always had that ability. Okay, like say some prophet has a vision and they start writing stuff down, and maybe even it goes in the Bible, or maybe it goes in Nostradamus's quatrains, or whatever it may be. Various people who have seen certain things and written them down. There are those that get, it must happen, it has to happen, it's inevitable. None of it has ever been inevitable. Okay, these various prophecies do not have to happen. This is a free will universe. If we could love each other, do good things, just like Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself. Raise ourselves up, do away with certain negative, evil type of things, even. And rise above all that. Do good. Put good in humanity. Stop the wars, the battles. We have always had the potential to save ourselves. We are not doomed. We don't have to go under. Okay, but there are sometimes these old, 2,000-year-old prophecy. If people are trying to make them, force them to happen. Okay, for instance, and they become a self-fulfilling type of prophecy. Those things could happen. Absolutely. There is a power there. And then we can all look back. Well, maybe he really did see something. Well, it didn't have to happen, but we fulfilled it, right? There's always going to be that kind of element there. So, I know I'm stating a lot of stuff here. But, we don't have to be locked in, I guess is one of the things I'm trying to say, to any kind of negative fate. This even is for you on an interpersonal level. No being on this planet is doomed for any kind of negative outcome. And that's why when I read and I approach things, maybe somebody has got some difficult, maybe they, whatever, with stuff, but they don't have to be doomed to a negative outcome. Maybe they just need to shift something. What can they do to get in a positive direction? They could do that. But the same thing with us, we can shift in a positive direction. All this stuff does not have to go negative if we don't want it to. I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot of fears right now. They're worried, they're fearful about things, not only just in the interpersonal, in their own little world, their little bubble, their own personal bubble, but even worried for the world and stuff like that. So, several things here, especially you spiritualists watching and stuff. We want to be realistic and be observant, be an observer. But, just as I say that, even though you observe, and I know you're trying to be conscious and aware of what's going on, but don't allow any of this to pull you in the lower astral. Don't lose hope. Don't fall into despair. Try to keep above it, rise above it as much as possible. Still know when to turn it all off. Know when to unplug, turn it all off. Because you have to for your own sanity. And that's why I was saying some of my good friends didn't have TVs. Some of them didn't even have TVs and watch news. It knew nothing. So like my friend Della, God rest her soul, she didn't even, she later got Netflix and would watch some shows, but she stayed unplugged from all the drama and stuff like that, because she knew the power of it, and what it could do to the psyche and the spirit and things, and so it's hard, so we want to be awake, we want to be aware of certain things. I'm not saying to put your head in the sand, guys, absolutely not. But I'm saying don't put your head into the lower astral and let them suck you under either, because it'll suck your soul. And you don't want to do that either. You want to keep your eyes on the spirit at all times. Just like Teach always said, hold the light steady in the darkness, no matter what. No matter what, we're going through a tough period right now. There's a lot of things, like I still try to be observant. I don't like say, food shortages or inflation or, and I know things going on with, the P word, in Russia, and a lot of people are concerned, things going on around with women and all that stuff. And we want to be aware. Absolutely. But just, we got to keep head above water. And don't go down rabbit holes. Guys, the various rabbit hole, don't do it. Don't do it. I warned you. Where you think you're getting some kind of knowledge, you're not. You're getting manipulated. You're getting manipulated. And like I said, that's why I teach that he never banned anyone from being able to say anything, do anything, or bring anything into our own little abode. And it was just our own little space. But he did on that. He did on that is one thing he did say no to. And it's like, wow, because he knew the power of it and just how it could corrupt everything and stuff. So it's real important. And you can see people that are walking around believing all kind of weird stuff. And I'm not even going to share them here. Don't even give them voice. You know what's out there. If anybody's explored the things that people believe and stuff, and they think they know, they think they really know what's going on. This deep state stuff, I know what's going guys and stuff. It's not, it's certain things to get people to turn on each other and stuff, and we've got to stay above that. We got to stay awake in that. It's all a dream, no matter what. All that we see or seem is a dream within a dream. It really is so many. I know it feels real. I pinch myself. I feel it's real, right? I know. But it's all so many. It's so many ways. So we got to dream awake. That's all we can do. We got to get lucid within the dream. That is there. And that's why I said I don't want to do too big of a thing, but just as we're kind of going in here and trying to navigate everything that's going on. I know there's so much like whether it's media or this that, there are so many that want to manipulate and and I get so concerned all the time. Like I worry about people just how easily it is to manipulate. And I know there are people, nope, I'm awake, and they're not. Let's go ahead and pull a few cards. Just pull a few cards for just kind of a message spirit. So just stay awake during this time, guys. I know. I'm going to pull from Angel deck, kind of get a little higher power energy there. So we've got the King of Earth, okay, which can be the King of Pentacles. And I know there are those in power that's all about money, absolutely. But it's not straight all about that. Yes, it is a lot. I mean, there are those who just want rich, wealth, but also power. There are those that love to have power, okay. Balance. Okay, that's the Temperance card. Keep balanced everything. Except that's one thing we don't want to go, in extremes and everything and lose our crap here. Okay, we got to remain balanced and stuff. And that's why I tell you guys, just unplug, sit there, enjoy. Stay at night if you happen to be up. Like a lot of times, I may be up, early in the morning and just everything is quiet, nothing is happening. And it's peaceful, and I'll tell you, as crazy as it sounds when it's all quiet, I just got a little bit of meditation music. It feels more real than anything going on. It feels more real. I can't explain it, but it does. It's only, we have to do this for sanity. Knight of Air. Okay. So a lot of that energy, I know there's a lot, various political and crazy stuff. Everybody's got these racing thoughts. Their mind is not their own and stuff. We got to slow down and stuff like that. We got to be able to get a grip on the mind. Like I said, that balance, temperance, balance, energy. Okay. The world, we're all concerned about, the world and everything that's going on. We all want to, I feel if I strip it bare, okay, the majority of people, within the exception of those that are really wicked, okay, the majority of people want to go in a positive direction in this world. They just, they want to be happy. They want to take care of their families. They just want to support, give a good life. A majority of people are good at heart. I actually do believe that. So, but there are those that want to control the world, absolutely, and everybody in it. I know. That's the thing. But it's we got to start waking up more and more. The good thing though, there are times that I kind of look like maybe I go on TikTok and look at the young. More and more people are waking up. It is happening, guys. It is happening. And not believe me, anybody who wants to control everything. To lose that, I can't control this person's mind or that person's mind. It makes people nervous. Absolutely. I stop. But, it's happening all over the world. More balance. The Two of Earth, popping up in here itself. Just keep balance. Don't let anybody pull you into certain extremes of any other way. Okay? That's what things balance. take that meditation. And I know it seems like, but I got to be informed. I got to know what's going on. No, in actuality, that's the way people try to hook you, hook you, hook you. Okay, believe it or not, when you unplug from the madness, that you're free. Just like I say here, everything is kind of quiet, everything is peaceful. I just got a little light meditation music on. The world is quiet, and I feel completely free. And it's like you need to know those moments. Okay, you need to know those moments to have your sanity. Okay. Seven of Water. Seven of Water can be about, certainly choices, but it also, for me, very often, the illusions, the Neptunian illusion, and so forth. And those that try to captivate you to go for certain things, choices. There's only one choice on the Seven of Cups card that makes any sense. Going for the true self. Okay, focus on the true self. What did I come here for? And there's the little person is kind of veiled. And don't worry about uncovering the mystery of the world. Don't worry about trying to solve all the riddles of the universe. There's only one thing you need to focus on. You've been doing it backwards for a long time. You just need to figure out who you really are. That's all you need to focus on. Because you could never solve all the mysteries of everything. If you could figure out who you really are, if you could awaken in this dream and figure out the true self of who you are, you'll be fine. That's what you need to focus. When you're trying to focus on solving this, that, you're avoiding what you need to wake up in this dream and figure out who you are. That divine soul spirit that you are. That's what the Seven of Cups is about. So many distractions. Absolutely, that's what that card is about. And you focus, whether it's on wealth or power or whatever it may be. Okay, falling into various temptations, addictions. Focus on who you really are. If you could figure that out, you've won. Just going to do one more. Page of Air. That is about news, information, communication. Okay, various things. There's all kinds of stimulus that is always coming at you and stuff. And then the wheel of fortune. We can go for positive change. That can be about positive change going in a positive direction. We have always had the ability. Nobody has to be doomed. Things don't have to fall apart. They don't have to. And stuff. But things can go forward in a positive direction. This is one of the big keys. The awakening. More and more awakening, guys. They are. More and more awakening. And if anything, let me just put it this way, without trying to feed into anything. I want to be very careful of my words. Certainly, there are those who don't want you to find the true self, and there are those who don't want people to awaken. Okay? Because the more they do, and they can break free of all this kind of various programming that is going on. They cannot be conditioned. They cannot be manipulated. They cannot be controlled. Okay, but I just want to give any kind of warning. Just take heed of my warning when I say the rabbit hole. I just take a look to see what people are saying. Be careful. Be careful. Stop right there. Don't even bother. Okay, I know a lot of people think, and one of the ways you could trick yourself, and I even me as a spiritualist who's pretty, I'm in Awaken Aware. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know better because I know that the power, just how the mind can be manipulated. So if I'm conscious and Awaken Aware enough to know that, yes, I could potentially be manipulated. Okay, I could possibly lose my mind. If I think like that, understand the preciousness of the commodity that is of my mind. Okay, if I sit there versus going in arrogant, nobody could fool me, I'm so smart. If I understand that there are powerful forces that can, get a hold of it and mess with it, if I humble myself to that and not go in arrogant, then I'm going to be much more cautious and protective of my mind. Okay, I'm not going to go in being stupid. Okay, that's one of the things. So like I said, say that, there's a little rabbit hole. Let me just look here. Let me look there. Don't. Okay, don't even bother. Don't even bother, guys. Be careful with that. Okay, we still want to be observant about what things are happening, but kind of in a standoffish kind of way, always above water. Don't allow yourself to get pulled into lower astral, as it will bring you down. and it can make you sick. And I've seen people get lost along the way. People that I thought, were good spiritualists that had their head above water, and I've lost them. It's just kind of, I see them just kind of being pulled, down the river, you could say, and it's like, and there's not much. Maybe I'm screaming out, "Get out of there!" And they're like, "No, I know what I'm doing," and stuff. I know. It's a scary kind of thing, and so, but it's happening. It's happening and everything. So page of air, which can be news, communication, the info. Okay, people always trying to mess with. We have the ability to go in a positive direction and stuff. But the awakening, that's the thing. Don't get trapped in illusions. Okay, but if you focus on who you are, know thyself. Okay, remember that the Oracle of Delphi. Know thyself. That is one of the big things. If you know who you are and know yourself, you won't get pulled into any of that drama. But you still want to be this. It could happen to be just like you. There are smart, intelligent people, even smart, intelligent people that have fallen into various, things, drama that they've lost their mind. They think they know stuff, but their mind is not their own anymore. Okay, and some of these are intelligent people. Okay, they're not necessarily gullible. Okay, I mean, I've seen some, people that are spiritual and awake and aware, and you think they would have knowledge, that there are some things that have grasped their mind where it's not their own anymore. And it does make me nervous. It does make me nervous that is happening. Okay, so, but thank God, more and more awakening. But those that know themselves, that figure out, focus on that. Don't worry about focusing on what all this is about, the mysteries and all this crap. Focus on discovering the true self. Turn yourself inner. Okay? And if you do that, and the more you become aware of who you are and stuff, and awaken in everything to that truth, that's the one thing that'll save you from getting sucked down into the lower astral. I do hope this helps.